A lot of parents have been having difficult conversations with their children today after that horrific school shooting in Nashville, Tennessee yesterday.
Absolutely. As police investigate, safety in schools continue to be top of mind, along with mental health, as parents and students cope with this tragedy. According to Education Week, there have been 13 school shootings so far this year. As much as we want to shield children from such horrors, we have to talk about these things.
Right. Blanca Cobb has some advice. Blanca, how should you start a conversation about a school shooting with a child?
You start with the setup. So what that means is, because it's a serious topic, you want to make sure that the television is off and phones are put away, because you want their full attention. And then you can say something like, hey, there's something that happened yesterday that I want to talk to you about. And they'll say, what is it, Mom or Dad? Have you heard about this school shooting? And if your child says yes, this is a great time to say, what have you heard? Hear everything they have to say, and then how do you feel about it? When you get this information, it helps guide the conversation. What's the next step to say? What are they struggling with? And then that gives you insight on how you can help them. Some children might say, no, I have no idea what you're talking about. And then briefly, depending on their developmental level and how old they are, then you want to tell them what happened. And as a parent, you decide what that criteria is for you, what you feel comfortable telling them. However, you do want to give them the basics and say that there was a school shooting and people died.
So Blanca, some parents might have some hesitations when it comes to this, especially if they have very young children. So how do you manage the conversation, and how do you know how much to tell your child?
We do this developmentally. So what we do know is that children who are elementary age, they generally want reassurance that they're safe, that their family's safe. Could this happen at school? This is a great time for you as a parent to say, hey, this is what your school is doing to protect everybody at school. This is why you practice those lockdown drills at school. This is a way for the school to keep all students and all faculty safe. That's why you follow these guidelines. Teenagers, it's a little different story. They are cognitively more mature. They have more questions. They want to dive deeper into the subject. They might want details. They might want to talk about gun safety or gun reform and how this impacts their life, their community, their friends. And then there might be future focus. They might start thinking down the road about college. And so this is a good time for you to have these kinds of conversations with them and really explore what's on their mind and what their concerns are.
Blanca, as a parent, how do you yourself manage stress revolving around gun violence in schools and the possibility that it could happen anywhere?
It's so scary for any parent, because any parent will go out of their way to do anything that they can to protect their children. And once they leave home, parents know that there's a lot that they can't do to protect. But you have to deal with those strong emotions and that uncertainty. One thing we know about life that's certain about life is that there's a lot of uncertainty. But when you process those emotions yourself and get a sense of what you can and cannot control and how you can and cannot help your child, that puts you more in the driver's seat when you have this conversation. And look, it's okay to have controlled emotion, because your child can see that and know that having emotions is normal in a situation like this, but also how to deal with it. And the reason we want to have controlled emotions is because it allows us to think things through. When we are a mess, it makes it difficult to think logically and actually take steps to do something about our situation. So that's why controlled emotion is so important.
Well, our hearts and prayers certainly go out to the families out in Nashville. Great insight, Blanca. Thank you so much. You can continue the conversation with Blanca on her Facebook page, Blanca Cobb, Body Language Expert.